Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have joined me this evening to play something remotely like Dungeons and Dragons. It's even less like Storm King's Thunder, which is where we're stealing some of the imagery from this evening. We're using Roll20 as our virtual tabletop, and some of the additional art is provided by Pixabay. Much of the art tonight has been manipulated and made much better by our in-house artist Thunderscape7. So all those credits where those credits are due.
I have a thing to say really quickly.
Yes.
All of the chat, which is lovely that we have the chat, is over top of Corfell's face.
Oh, I've done that again.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops.
It
Hang on.
always
Thank you.
is.
Bye-bye.
You don't
Okay,
need to see
boom.
me. It's fine.
There you go. Go on.
But how else would we see your handsome face?
I was trying to
Beautifully
do. I
handsome
was trying to
face.
do a reveal, but go ahead. Sure. Yeah. All right. I covered that well, don't you think? No, not at all. Okay. But let's get to the people.
Start.
Real on brand, as on brand as we get. Let's go around this table and introduce these people and what they are also doing. Let's start with. Let's start with Scarred because you had it yesterday. So why don't we start with what happened yesterday?
So yesterday I started I resumed, really. I started up again the wonderful Heroes 101, which you can see the VOD if in the channel, but don't watch it now. Watch this now. Show love where it's due. But show us love later. We like love.
It's
a fun thing.
Help them get to 100 views. Go.
Yes, we are only 18 or so away from last I checked. But other than that, I also run a small, sometimes active website called thescarredadventure.com, which I need to do a lot of stuff for before it's really back up and running properly. And I'm still worried about it. So anyways, yeah.
It is still at least a project in being. Excellent. All right. I was gonna segue, but it would have stole your thing. So let's just talk to Bison. On Mondays, are you still doing the thing?
Yeah, I'm still streaming. I am a variety streamer on my own channel, which I haven't queued up yet. And I stream at 7 p.m. Pacific. I've been streaming. Last week I did Pillars of Eternity 2. I might continue that. It's a lot of fun. Mostly because Control was kicking my ass, and I was getting tired of looking at the loading screen. So, so that's me. I was playing One Ball on Saturdays, but the Lovely Masks game is taken over because One Ball has gone home. And that's me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
He's back in the pocket.
Oh yeah. Back on the Rebel Dolly.
He's definitely back in the rack.
Yeah.
I have terrible jokes. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll leave.
Par for the course.
No, please don't. Yes. Next, Sarah. What's up with the productions?
Not much, honestly.
Oh, thank you for your honesty. At least put them up there. There's got to be a backlog where people can look.
Yes, there is. And why are you not wanting to show that? There we go.
Bam, there it is.
Yes, at Tango Productions and Tango Productions on location, we have everything that we did before we were Tango Productions at on location. So there are quite a few videos to watch there.
Excellent. Lots of stuff to get caught up on, and by then you will have brand new stuff.
Yes.
To add to it. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Playing Beowulf for us this evening. The wonderful and marvelous Solar Dasher. How's it going? Did you get a chance to do any streaming this week, or are you still? They keep promising you time off.
Well, I did have some last night, but I just was not really in the mood, mainly because of this little guy here. She wants to get in my way. As you can see, she loves laying in my arms, but I digress. Normally, you can find me on my site, and I do try and play mostly Fortnite. but I'm up to playing other games. Yes, her name is Sasami, and she's purring up a storm at the moment.
Oh,
But otherwise, no.
trying to replace that
I've
wolf.
been working with work, and they've been giving me a little bit more time to relax because they don't want me to do so much overtime anyway. But
Yes.
during the week, it's a little bit harder for me to stream. So maybe next Saturday I'll get in there and stream a little bit.
I hope you get a chance to. It is, as you know, it's a lot of fun.
Oh yes.
Which brings us, last but not least, to Wolfsbane. Thank you for joining us this evening. Welcome back. Have you been able? Have you been able to get in any streaming on your own channel?
I probably could have. I've kind of taken a break for a little bit, especially with all these crazy bots hitting streamers to get that in control before I even think about it.
Yep.
I'll be back to streaming probably this week. I'm gonna have my schedule set based around the new job that I'll be working, which I'm super excited about. I've been doing some art. Got a bunch of commissions out. I have not updated my little portfolio on DeviantArt, but I will shortly. And you can find me on Twitch or lurking. I'm always lurking. They call me Sir Lurks a lot for a reason.
All right. Thank you. I did everybody right. Yeah, I did it. I remembered everybody. Yay.
Yay!
Oh, first time in weeks. So we did all the thank yous and we did all the intros. So it must be time.
Oh yeah, the astral that we're not supposed to talk about because we're not using astral today.
Oh, the code still applies. I just wasn't going to mention it on the stream itself, but it's fine in chat over there. Now that we've taken that off Corfell's face, we're all good. In fact, thank you, Thunderscape. I'm not going to say it, but anybody in chat can see it. This worked perfectly.
Always.
Let's drop in. It's almost a drop in indeed. Bickford and Creature have just crashed through a already crashed through stone vent back into the main room of this ever so religiously important oracle. Sitting at the very feet of the giant statue that looks a lot like Creature is Iticus, with a brand new stick. And somehow, on their warforged face, a grin that's 3 sizes too big. Surrounded by, again, on a metallically fixed warforged face, surrounded by the sheerest faux innocence you have ever seen. There's like, this would be like catching your child with both hands full of cookies in the mouth and they're looking at you going, wasn't me. But that might not be your biggest problem because the portal has just shimmered back open and you look through that silvery glitter and on the floor on the other side you see Beowulf fight and try and stay conscious and look up at you and then just collapse to the ground unconscious. Behind them is a sepulchral, I'll say it, a sepulchral figure of a giant lays back down on the floor and instantly freezes over. The 3 of you in the main room, as that happens, and Beowulf, just before you collapse, you look through the portal and see the giant statue behind you goes. The floor in front of it starts to crack. You guys are starting to stumble back into that cavity. It is going to fall directly on the 3 of you. Corfell, you were in this room. I mean, like, at least you finally got to see a friggin' cathedral, like a proper friggin' cathedral. This thing is 300 feet tall. The statues are 200 feet tall. At least it's epic. And then
It only took forever.
It only took forever. And then this big, gigantic statue in the middle of the room that looks a lot like Creature. The chest opens up a lot like Creature, and the tentacles, a lot like Creature's, come out. And one of them snakes towards you, and you try and move. I mean, you send the order, and your body just does not listen. And the tentacle just engulfs you, and you've got a split second to think, that's it. It's going to crush me. I'm done. This is all. And it closes around you and stops just before it crushes you. You can move a little bit. You've got a surprisingly good feeling about what it feels like to be a peanut in its shell right now. It's like that much movement, but it's solid rock. And you feel yourself lurching about as this tentacle does. And then it stops. And you hear... And the rock starts to crack. You're looking around. You can't see it, and then you drop about an inch. Hey, Mercs, you got here just in time. Oh, thank you so much. Welcome to the group. We're just in the process of scaring the shit out of the new person. So we'll just get right back to it. Corfell, you've been attacked by this giant statue that looks a lot like one of your party members. They encased you in this hollow pod of rock and lurched you around who knows where through time and space. It starts to crack around your feet, and you start to fall out of the bottom. You try and hold on or stop yourself from falling. As it cracks, the air that's coming in from around your ankles now is freezing cold.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna hold on just
So
in
you
case.
put
I
your
don't know
hands
where
on
I'm
the side,
falling
yeah?
to. Yeah, yeah.
Give me an
I'm gonna catch
give me an
myself.
acrobatics. Let's give you some agency in this. I'm not just going to tell you a story about how bad it gets. Captured again. Yeah.
Yep.
Story of my life.
I want to play a superhero game, and I want to play Storm, and every time they say to you, what do you want to happen next, I want to say, a wall falls on me. And then I get up later and cast Cyclone and kill everything. But yes, give us that roll once you're...
I did it go through?
It did not go
No.
in. No. What did you get?
Well, it might in a sec.
I'm still waiting very much. But anyway,
Well, it was such a good roll. Come
what
on.
was it? I trust you.
So it always double rolls. Because I have it set up that way, and it was
Yes.
a 19
Right,
plus
19.
4.
19 plus 4, so 23. I'm going to just refresh this real quick just to make sure, but 19 plus 23, yeah. You push with your hands trying to, or I guess like with your elbows trying to keep in, and both your elbows go through this suddenly now fragile cocoon of rock. And so you're kind of in like this now. So you're more or less stable, but you can't really go any up or down, or you're just kind of hanging there, and it's starting to just crumble, and it gets up to about your knees. I still can't see that roll. That's interesting. Okay, anyway, we'll figure it out. So what do? You're not just hanging there by your armpits, and it now up to the knees is freezing cold. Snow is starting to swirl up around your arse. You know,
I'm gonna look for somewhere to maybe land, see how far it is. Like,
so you
can
gotta
I,
suck into your belly and look
swing?
down past yourself, and it's helping because there's more and more rock breaking away. You can see more and more. What you see is the path that you guys walked up here on. You're outside the oracle in the snow. And just as you do that, it starts to give away under your arms.
I'm just gonna go with it, and I'm gonna try and do some kind of tuck and roll, and
Give me an acrobatics check. We'll see if this is fixed. And if not, just tell me what you got. You guys, it's looking kind of weird. You may have to tell me what's happening all night.
we went through this.
Oh, there
There
it
we
is. There it went. Oh, 20 plus 4. 24. Yeah, you, as it gives way, you kind of climb the inside of it, almost impossibly, almost like Wile E. Coyote, where like it's falling and you're just sort of avoiding the rubble. and you shove it all out of the way, and you look down and you realize you're still 30 feet in the air. And these rocks that you shoved aside, they're just thin now. It's just this crust that was around you. They've fallen and hit in the snow, just poof, poof, poof. And you can tell from the depth of the poof, it's like a rock in water. You can kind of tell how deep it is. This is deep, deep snow you're falling towards. You just kind of do that falling thing. With a 24, you go for it's a 24. You go for the heroic 3-point landing, and you nail it, but nobody but you is ever going to know because you come to a stop about 4 feet under the surface of the snow. Poof!
Or fell-shaped poof.
Yep.
And then you kind of stand up, and you're to here in the snow. It's dripping off your eyebrows and getting in your ears. You kind of shake your head. And about 20 feet in front of you, an oddly glowing red rope, a coiled rope, falls, hits the snow, and starts to melt. Just starts to melt into the snow. Another one over here. And then they start to wiggle. They go up, the ropes.
I'm trying to climb out of the snow, but I'm.
At least you clear
Yeah.
a space, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you clear your, yeah, go ahead.
I wanna kind of investigate these ropes.
Oh yeah, it's not much. I mean, you dig some space around your eyes so you can see, and you look up and you see there's two people coming down them, like rappelling down them towards the snow. They're dressed all in red and black. It appears that they're wearing almost like summer attire. They're not at all dressed for this cold weather, but given that their ropes are melting in the snow, maybe there's something going on here. Above them is a combination between the world's biggest sled and a small boat
Santa.
held aloft by a gigantic red balloon. It's literally an airship.
Oh wow.
It looks like it can skim across the surface on its runners. It looks like it can sail, and you can tell right now it's flying in the air. There's a big two-bladed propeller on the back that right now is kind of going backwards and forwards to counter the wind to make it stay in one spot above you. As you look up, two more people flip off the sides and start rappelling Navy SEAL style down this rope towards you in the snow.
That could be good.
I'm not very trusting of
Yeah.
strangers.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of like spread out the snow out of my way so I can move properly
Yeah.
and kind of just prep myself to
Get
make
ready
sure
for a
I'm not
fight?
gonna be. Yeah.
Absolutely. The further down these first two go, the hotter. You can see the hotter the ropes get, and they're melting more and more and more snow. By the time they hit the ground, they've melted an area about 8 feet across all the way down to the ground. Each, at the bottom of each rope. So the first two land, boom, they step to the side. The second two land, boom, they're a step to the side. And they're on hard packed ground. And you're in your sort of little hollow inverted igloo of quickly cleared snow.
All right. Are they human? Can I tell?
They are all moon elves. But, and it's a big but,
Ooh.
swollen because they had COVID. No, current joke. Nobody's going to make any sense out of that. Never mind. There is a difference between you and them until you look down and realize that there isn't. Your skin, instead of being the dark gray that it is now, or is normally, is pitch black. And you've got like the reverse of freckles in white. They look for all the world like stars on the night sky. You have a deep, deep memory. It's not yours. It's not your grandfather's. It's not your great-great-grandfather's. At 1,000 years each, this is many, many greats back. But you know that right now there is on your forehead, depending on the phase of the moon on your home world and your home place, a moon with some phase on it. If you can find a shiny surface, you can tell what that is. But you know it's there. And as they slide down, you do know, because they all turn to you and they're all from the same place, because you guys are all from the same place. It's a perfect half moon on the foreheads. And this is where you got to go?
Real quick.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Back in the cave. Let's just do that. Back in the oracle. Like a building, it's taking forever to fall, it seems, but it's building up speed as it comes. The ground at the base of it is starting to crack at your feet, the three of you. Beowulf is still unconscious on the floor beyond the portal.
That's where Bickford's heading.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing
Bickford.
with Creature.
Yeah.
But if Idicus isn't already going, because I can't hear what Idicus is doing, Creature is kind of just grabbing Idicus and just kind of like a parent going, "We have to hurry now. Come on, you're going to be in trouble later." But I'm not telling you this right now. Here, have some Skittles.
Just to remind us, as you reach down and start to herd / grab at Idicus, Idicus is covered in spider ichor and blood and gore of all kinds.
Yeah, that's
has
why
this
Creature
big
isn't...
magic stick over one shoulder that's twice as tall as they are, and hasn't said a word, I don't think. Idicus, do you have any response at all? You see all of this. You see Bickford just bolts. Creature's trying to scoop you and go.
I'm running towards my Fred.
Okay, so yeah. In that case, give me an acrobatics. And in this case, I know it's not how typically this would be done, but I also need an acrobatics from Creature. As you try and... Son of a... Damn it. You only got to beat a 10.
The
You gotta
first
beat a
bad
10.
roll Idicus has made in like 2 weeks.
19,
nice.
yeah.
I got two 19s. They're the same roll both way. That's a 1 in 400 chance.
So, hey, happy feet in chat. Hello. So Idicus, you put on the best moves possible. You are counting on the fact that you are enslickened. I just invented that. Enslickened with ichors and such. But you forgot who you're dealing with. Creature is not grossed out by slime, and he just scoops you under the armpits, and you're just doing the air with the feet thing. Either way, the three of you charge forward as the statue starts to fall behind you. It starts to come apart in slabs. Yeah.
I know, because the floor is also beginning to tilt in a bit.
Yeah.
Creature is using a bit of his spider climb abilities.
Yeah.
To just walk upwards as well.
Yeah,
like even if it were to fully
it's not going to, but I get it. Yeah, you are never lacking traction for sure. I'm also showing, I just realized, showing chat absolutely nothing of any real value. I should put you back in here where you're supposed to be. Just like that. There we go. The map makes sense again. Yay!
Where are we?
It was so much easier last night when I was just the producer. With that, the three of you, some of your own accord and some not, race across the room as the statue starts to fall behind her. It starts to come apart and do that sort of almost like dominoes. And as each one hits the ground, you're slightly less ahead of it, and slightly less ahead of it, and slightly less ahead of it. You get to the portal in front of you and hit that silvery screen. And you stop.
Oh,
dead.
Bickford's
Against
speed,
it.
man.
So, Bickford, Creature, Idicus. Some of the other statues start to collapse around as well as the creature hits the ground just in front of you. The top of the head is here. You look up and it starts to tilt towards you as you're all but pinned going through this portal. But that's when all the other statues start to shatter as well. And you see the great axe of Thrym, the one that Beowulf used to get into this place, come flying, hurtling towards the three of you. You squirm, duck, and scramble out of the way, and it goes thump through the portal. Beowulf, you are dreaming the dreams of the ultimately in pain. I'm just inventing words all over the place tonight. You just got a tattoo frozen into your back.
Mhm.
You are just in that you. There's no way you could become fully conscious right now. It would hurt too much. You're still a giant. In fact, you're still a frost giant laying on the ground. That is the only reason you are still alive. And as your hand is out like that in front of you on the ground because you were crawling, something insinuates itself under it. And it starts to feel cold. And your one eye opens because you have to know. And it's Thrym's battle axe.
The axe that I used to get in.
To get in. You breathe in, and the ice cold air from Aigeron's body behind you, having just refrozen, the circle frozen over, all that hard work you did to melt it out of there, all undone in a moment. But that you breathe the ice cold air of the floor, and it invigorates you. And you stand back up, and you look ahead of you, and everything is, the pain is still there. Your vision is this big, right? You're like looking down a cardboard tube.
Yeah.
And you kind of point it around and say, statue, 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 Aigeron's ghost, portal. And you see your three friends stuck in it like glue. And behind them, this huge head tottering. Give me a Constitution save with advantage because of the axe.
Just like to say the words "faceless prick" are still emblazoned on
Well,
that head that's tottering
it's
towards
face
us.
down. The top of the skull is coming towards you. So yeah, that's now face down on the ground. 15. With everything you own, you get up on your knees. You try to stand. That's not going to work. But you can crawl. So with the axe in one hand, across this impossible distance to your frozen friends. You get there, you reach out with the axe, you can see it shake, your arm is shaking. You realize you're starting to shrink. The potion is wearing off. And then the axe is getting incredibly heavy. But you touch the portal with it just before it's drawn from your hand. The portal disappears, and the three of them fall towards you. The head starts to fall into the portal towards the group of you. Corfell.
Yeah.
You are facing off against this group who have just landed and are staring at you, and you have seen that you are a moon elf of many millennia ago. The original old blood of your line.
Mm-hmm.
And the four of them that landed, one of them looks at you and says, "Our master would have you have the airship as a gift." You see a huge red dragon is there on their tabard, red dragon against a black background. The ropes are still hissing as they hit it. They sit on the ground, like power cables, but with fire instead of electricity.
Okay. And who is your master?
Hold on, let me read it.
Let me get it right. Klaus, the red dragon. has determined that they have become interested in your adventure and wishes to see it brought to a hastier conclusion. Cloth, you see, is easily bored, and you walking from place to place and taking weeks at a time to do it is testing their patience.
And what interest does he have in this adventure?
He's enjoying watching the giants suffer.
Fair enough.
Do you accept temporary ownership?
I do.
Then by all means, acting captain, please come aboard and we'll show you exactly how it works. And there's the tiniest of bows, and the acting was, like when they said acting captain, it was a lot acting and not so much captain. But they immediately start hand over hand, no legs, just up this rope, just and they assume, it looks like they assume you're going to follow.
Yeah. So I do.
Give me an
Little more
acrobatics
leg,
check.
little less, just arm over.
Yep. Yeah. No, not trying to recreate the arms only process, but yeah, give me a acrobatics check.
Option.
13. Okay. You do the leg wrap and the proper climbing procedure, and you're doing all right. But the split second the last two are off the ropes above you, they start to reel in the ropes. So you're now climbing a rope that's being lifted as you climb it. It's unbalancing to say the least. Would you? I'll give you a choice now. Do you just grab on and allow yourself to be lifted, or do you continue to try and climb?
As well, continue to climb, get up there faster.
Okay, give me
Don't
another
want them
acrobatics
to-
check. Yeah.
Don't want them to, drop me.
Yes. So yeah, second acrobatics check.
Sounds more like it.
23. Oh yeah. It's being moved in jerks, so you can time it so that you're kind of climbing between the jerks, so it's perfect. Yeah, you double up on speed and start whipping up there. And you very quickly get pulled / climb over the railing on this ship. It's a stunning piece of kit. It is a small boat. You look around, and between the four that came down to you, there's 4 others on the boat, all dressed in the same tabards, and the one that spoke earlier was clearly the leader.
Oh, that's great.
So it looks at you, and they look at you again and say, "So, we'll show you how it works. Come and stand here, please." And as you walk up, the 8 of them are tidying up the boat, like they're coiling rope and polishing stuff, and just it looks like they're getting ready to do something. And they lead you up onto the little deck at the back, and to where there would be a wheel, but there isn't. There's just a speaking horn. It just kind of, like the reverse trumpet, and that end's pointing at you. And the leader looks at you and says, "It follows simple commands. You don't need to be nautical. Just tell it what you want it to do. Things like, oh, one moment," and they turn a little twister on the side, and it basically closing the flue in a chimney. It blocks the trumpet so that it doesn't hear anything. And they look at you and say things like, "Go faster, go up, go down. You don't have to don't fool around with that port and starboard foolishness. It barely understands up and down and left and right. But the point is, you won't be needing us." And as they say that, you look around, and the other 7 are coming upstairs with backpacks on, and one of them's carrying an extra, slightly larger, slightly fancier backpack, and they just put it on the deck and wait for their leader to finish with you.
Okay.
And yes,
Easy
yes,
enough.
it doesn't have a name. And with that, reaches over and opens the little valve again, so that the ship can now hear again. will be leaving. Use it as you will. Just know that just to be completely honest with you, you're being tracked every second of every day. I mean, I hope you don't mind. I mean, it's our ship after all. Klaus will know where you are, but he's watching you anyway. So it doesn't really change anything except now you know. Other than that, he's very much enjoying the show, and you'll know if he stops enjoying it because you'll wake up one day and the ship will be gone. So there's not really much to worry about there. Do say hello to your friends. Oh, there is one more thing. This is for you. And it appears. It's not like reaching into a pocket. It just appears. This moonstone. Except it's not like a moonstone. It's not like that whitish color. It's a stone that looks exactly like the full moon. You can see that whatever you see when you see up there, the face or the lady reading or whatever it is that you see, it's exactly a miniature model of the moon. Here. And it looks like it's made out of glass or crystal or something, and they just flipped it at you.
I'm gonna catch it and ask what the point is, because I am suspicious of everything.
Give me a sleight of hand. With advantage. It wants to be caught. He said creepily.
Ow.
Oh. Feline attack.
Yep. Again.
That's what you get for playing the dog. You're getting attacked by all the cats.
Mm.
I don't know if a 24 is going to hack it.
Perfect. You don't even fumble. It's just, and you open your mouth to speak, but you're gone. You are millennia ago in a castle every bit as grand as the Oracle Cathedral, whatever you want to call it, that you just left. It's on that scale too. This is giant level living. And you look around and you hear in the distance raised giant voices. And in that dreamlike thing where you just kind of think about that direction, you kind of and move that way. It's not really conscious. You could try and fight it, but it's like somebody's pushing you. And you get all but shoved into this room. And you can see, you got a brief glimpse past Beowulf when you look through the portal of the ghostly figure. But what you see standing in front of you is an epic giant king. This is the King of Kings. This is the storm giant who runs it all. And you know in a heartbeat, this is the one that becomes the All-Father when they die. And in front of you on the ground, you see dozens of your kind. And one of them steps forward with an ivory white bone box, and holds it up and bows their head as presenting a gift. And the one that would be the All-Father reaches down, and as they touch it, the bone deforms and wraps around first a finger and then a knuckle and then a hand, and then drives in through the skin and goes into the skeleton. And you can see the giant trying to fight it off, and they can't. And you see that giant's face start to change, and the cracks start to open, and their chest cracks open, and tentacles whip out and back in, hardly under control. Recently infested with whatever it is that the creature's got. And you look down and realize not only your people did it, that's your great grandfather that held up the box.
Great. Love it. Love paying for the sins of others.
And you snap back to the deck of the ship, and you look down, and the little moon just turns to dust in your fingers. You look up again, and they've moved. All of them. There are 4 on each side again. It's 4 ropes drop now, and they're all 4 of them are holding ropes. The other 4 are getting ready to go next. And they just, the leader looks over at you again and says, anything else you need?
Out of curiosity, why do you follow
Klaus.
Klaus?
Don't worry, their name's all over everything in here. You look around and yeah, it is. I mean, dragons are vain creatures. It's like
Yeah.
Clouth engineering
I'm
and
very well
Clouth
aware of
plumbing
that.
and yeah. They self-contracted, yeah. The dragon image is them and it's everywhere. It's all self-dragon motif, yeah.
Every nail.
So I want to know why they follow him, because it's notoriously not very moon elf like.
You are quite correct. But power recognizes power.
Fair.
Besides, if the Allfather ever turns their eye on us, it would be very nice to have an ally. And the hand goes down and just sort of unconsciously traces the shape of the dragon on their chest, on the armor.
I can respect that. I am someone who does generally look out for number one, so
And with that, the four of them, the first four, boom, off and gone. The second four don't even look at you, just boom, carefully rehearsed, just bam, bam, they're gone. The boat rocks a tiny bit. You look up at this big red balloon that seems to be holding you up. You look down the length of this now empty ship. As you feel the four of them hit the ground below, you kind of see the ropes go slack. Those ropes disappear. They just burn, and they're gone. And you feel suddenly the ship is floating. You look over, that valve is open. It's all up to you. Back in the Oracle. All of you are together again. Beowulf, you kind of get your bearings, somehow doing that action sort of... Well, no, I'm sorry, we're not quite done yet. Because Beowulf, the axe is pulled out of your hand as the head starts to fall towards all of you. And it passes through the portal. The portal re-engages. The head hits that, shatters, slides to the ground on the other side, filling up about 4 or 5 feet of debris. And just over that, those of you that are tall enough, see the axe fly back to what is now the rubble of Thrym's statue and sort of lodge itself in amongst the rubble. So now all of you are on the wrong side of the gate.
Oh
But at
dear.
least you weren't crushed by the skull or by the giant statue. So,
I will say that was unfortunate. That was the best depiction of me I've ever seen. Now moving on, and immediately turns around. Doctor bag is like the bag for all of his doctoring is out. He's like put out a hand and went, Bickford, alcohol, strongest one you got.
All right, bourbon.
And he just like he takes off his shirt, pours it over his hands,
yeah.
cracks knuckles, hands you back a significantly lighter thing of bourbon.
Yep.
He's like,
And he goes, sorry, I'll get you a new one.
it's 200 years old. I stole it from a vampire.
Oh, well, I'll see if my town has any. I haven't visited since, and he just immediately starts to work on Beowulf, who I'm assuming is kind of fading in and out of consciousness.
They're absolutely exhausted right now. Let's start with this. I'll give you a chance. I'm deciding whether you even allow this roll, but yes, we're going to, just in case. Creature, give me a medicine roll. 15. Okay. You pour on this end, you pour on this end, you hand it back, you make your comment, you start to kind of scrape off the extra, and you realize you're feeling a little like numb. It doesn't affect you because of who and what you are, but this has definitely been poisoned with something. As soon as he said it was from the vampire, it's like, oh, I remember these bottles.
No, this is he still got that bottle. He still
Yeah.
got that bottle. But this was the quarter cask of bourbon he stole before we burnt the place to the ground.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So it's drugged too. Cool.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, don't like
no.
working with poison. Creature balls his hands into fists
Yeah.
and just tell me how much damage I'm going to have to take. Like, starts purifying the poison out of his blood.
Oh, it's not an issue. It's just going to take a little bit, but it's just the only reason I had you roll because if you had failed and touched Beowulf, they may have been affected by whatever this was. But
He's going to internalize the poison as much as he can into his legs.
yeah, it's not an issue with like I said. Once you figure it out, it's easy enough to scrape off enough or heat it up enough that it evaporates, and you're fine.
Okay.
But with that, you start to work on the exhausted form of Beowulf. Beowulf, give me a Constitution savings throw, please.
Sure thing.
At this
Kind of
point, when you,
frostbite.
as they're sort of fading in and out, yeah, give me that Constitution save. Perfect. Creature, you're beside them, sort of taking their whatever the medieval equivalent of checking a pulse is, probably hand on the chest, like making sure their heart's still beating. It starts to do some weird stuff, but it settles back down. But you realize that as you're doing this, Beowulf is starting to shrink and change. They're not a giant anymore. They're starting to look more and more like Beowulf and less like this giant. Then as they get just about the right size to be Beowulf, they start to shake and twist and shimmer and transform. And in front of your eyes, they turn into their wolf form. Beowulf, now that you're back in your form,
Mhm.
what color is, I mean, all the options are on the table now because you've been an Arctic wolf as well. So what color wolf appears?
We're gonna flavor this just a tiny bit
Oh, please
because
do.
of the Arctic wolf.
Yes.
He's gonna be still the pure black, like what you see behind me.
Yep.
But like a stripe starting around his nose, going all the way down his back and through his tail.
Perfect.
A pure white will be streaked down through his fur.
And because that's where the wolf's center part, right? The hair parts in the middle of the back along the spine. So
Yeah.
that's the area where it's white, and then spreading from that like open pages out of a book in white against that black background is the map that was tattooed onto you.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, you guys have it in your. Is that it? Yes, you should have it in.
Words of the
your,
Oracle.
uh,
It's in chapter 4, The
Worlds of
Chosen
Oracle.
Path.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. I'm going to do show to players so that these fine folks over here can see it. Bam. So, there's literally "You are here" written on this map, pretty much top dead center. This is because it's tattooed, or in this case, into the fur of Beowulf. You can see it's not exact, but what I am going to do is change this and put you back on the map of the North, which is where are you guys? Way down there. Okay.
Creature is cursing himself out for not having paid as much attention during the veterinary course of his medicine career.
Pickford's trying to figure out how the elves managed to make arrows so close to Oedipus's.
He's still absolutely not buying this at all.
No, he doesn't. He's still convinced it's elves.
This if
Sir,
you guys are you guys on the map of the North now?
Yeah, I see it.
I see it.
I see it.
yeah,
Oh, that
Yes.
Having
morning.
to refresh.
yes, I see it. While
refreshing?
you
Okay,
were
so
refreshing,
well,
never
yes, you
mind.
guys can see that map, and the map that you have, they crudely tattooed into the back of your wolf. Beowulf, you are conscious and aware again. You feel like the day after being really sick. You're okay now, but you're really beat up and tired. So,
So should I raise that exhaustion level?
yeah, take it away. You absolutely. You recover enough, especially over the course of the next hour or two, because you guys are still on the wrong side of this portal. Speaking of that, all of you are inside. You walk around this room over and over. There doesn't appear to be any way out. Beowulf, you can, because you have the stone, you can flip back and forth as you wish. So at any point, you can become Beowulf again.
This is creatures medicining was successful.
Yes, between that and the everything else that happened, yes, Beowulf has recovered.
This is also, if I could flavor it ever so slightly, it was just
Of course.
while doing so, creature motioned over Iticus, cleaned Iticus up very quickly, and started walking through what he was doing to Beowulf to help Beowulf out. I'm not going to be around forever. You need to learn some of this stuff. So you're in trouble for doing. You are in trouble for going off on your own. Yes, I know. Take that look off your face. You're apprenticing now. I don't care.
Iticus, you don't think have said a word in the whole hour we've been playing so far. You just got your good stick. You stole from a witch in a cave, and you killed some spiders, some little spiders, and a really big spider. And these two are daring to give you shit. You are the bestest little rogue ever. And these big lumpies are just being grumpies. So, how do you respond to all of this? This is like the first quiet moment.
Probably by not coming over to creature. So first thing he's gonna do is like just walk around and look at all this stuff. And specifically looking for anything like small that he can get out of.
Like
And try
you're
to
looking for a place to get away?
Trying to, because of course he doesn't. I'm not thinking, oh, I can get away. It's
Yeah.
I can help everyone get out if I find an exit.
If I find an exit. Okay. Perfect. Give
Even
in
if it's
that
just
case.
me.
Yeah, you just say, so that's what you start off kind of like just ignoring them, and then you forget that, and you start actually doing a thing, and you start looking. Give me an investigation with advantage. 26 and a 25. Those are fairly good rolls.
Good lord.
You zipping around the room, and there's statues in here too, but they're smaller. And you just like you're poking around statues. For some reason, creature keeps giving you the stink eye, and you don't even remember why anymore. But you kind of climb up on one statue and kind of go around the back just to get away from him. And you can see there's a space under her shield, and that's open in there. Like there's a space, an Iticus-sized space. And you get up closer, and you can poke your head inside. You realize the statue is hollow. What do you do?
Since creature was giving me
Yep.
this,
It's fair to say creature was giving you the stink eye with no
Yeah.
eyes, right?
yeah,
Stink
I'm
face?
gonna
Is that
go-
what we're going to call that? Stink face? No, that sounds terrible.
yeah.
Stick face is something completely different.
Since being fully bonded,
Yes.
you can creatures' face is becoming more malleable.
Right. Okay, that makes
It's
sense.
not always perfectly
Yeah.
bone-like.
There's sort of some-
Sometimes protrusions will come out every now and then, like a
Yeah.
raised eyebrow,
the hint of okay.
like
yeah.
just the
vein.
shape of something that looks like what you would see on a regular person.
Yep, I love it. Yeah, you can grow vaguely face-shaped protuberances as needed to convey emotion.
Yeah, it's more like something is underneath that's pushing out a little bit.
So yeah, you get a
It's
big
not like
bony
a spike. It's just a
Yeah, you get a big bony stink eye with no actual eye in it. So yeah,
I'm walking over to Big Fred, and say, and in Goblin even,
ooh, oh, the burns continue.
and saying, I think I found escape.
Fred looks down at him and is like, "Hmm. Okay, well, show me." He says this in Goblin because Idicus
Yeah.
responded or spoke in Goblin. So, sorry, creature.
Creature's giving stink eye, but if unless finished with Beowulf, he's going to now be. I don't know what Creature's going to be doing. He's going to be going over the new memories he's got, because he hasn't really had a moment to do that.
Sure. And also, I mean, you can sort of the thing is, Beowulf has the map. Beowulf can't look at the map, and no matter what form they're in, it's always on their back.
Yeah.
So if you can convince the wolf to stand still, you could start to sort of puzzle together, looking at the map that you have and this tattoo, sort of figure out where these spots are, which of these names are place names, and which of these names are places where there's artifacts of these giants that you have to go and get.
Yeah, Creature is
I'm a-
thinking there are bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Beowulf?
that Beowulf is at this point, while we have a little bit of time, he's going to be laying down and just trying to relax and
Yes. Just recover.
regain his recover and regain his strength and all of that. But he's going to stay in wolf form.
Okay, perfect. And with that, Idicus, you're going to show Bickford the spot. So you take him over, and Bickford, like, you could maybe get your arm in up to sort of here if you took your glove off. Like, it almost looks like you're going to have to squeeze Idicus slightly to get them through, but it looks like there is absolutely, the statue is hollow.
I'm gonna use. Do I have a pry bar? I'm pretty sure I have a pry bar. I took the sneaky jerk stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a pry bar. Absolutely. You have
yeah.
something that you can use as one anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a pry bar and sort of kind of make it a little bit easier for at least Idicus to get in.
Try and crank it open. Okay, give me a strength check. Just a straight strength check. Not a save.
9.
A 9, yeah.
I have these great ideas and they never work.
It's like, yeah, you're going to have to stop, because if you pull again, there's going to be a hernia.
I'm
So,
getting old for this.
Idicus, you see Bigford go, oh, and step back. It looks like you're going to have to save the day again. I mean, what more do you have to do to save this bunch of clods over and over and over again, Idicus? They can't even get in the
Rafael's not
hole.
included in that.
No,
He's
no,
never
you're
around.
outside. You're outside getting a really cool. You're outside getting a really cool ride for the group, so you're fine. Idicus.
And at least in Idicus' mind, he has a good stick for you.
Yes, yes, he does. Yep.
Creature is still hoping that you come back with late fees. I think the ship counts, but you know.
Idicus is going to give Bigford the stick
Yeah.
and climb through.
Bickford, you finally have a second to look at this. It's clearly magical, because if nothing else, it looks like it's made out of solid gold, but it hardly weighs anything. It's not hollow, like you go dunk dunk and it's dunk dunk. It's not dunk dunk. It's not hollow, but it looks like for all the world, like a branch that has been turned into solid gold, and at the top of it there's sort of this cluster of smaller branches holding a huge, and I mean huge, emerald, uncut but somehow clear and multifaceted and just amazing. And it's handed to you, the whole thing just kind of goes zzz.
You see that that ripple go through Bickford's hair.
Next time you touch something, pow, oof, and it all goes zzz. But anyway.
He's gonna just sort of shakes it a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corfel's gonna fucking love this thing. He sort of-
Idicus. Unencumbered. Drop your pack.
I could probably fit it inside my pack.
The bravestest goblin ever. Killer of mighty spiders.
what was it? The brave little goblin warforged, the brave little toaster. You know, the same thing. They're similar.
So, what do you do?
I'm hopping in and I'm gonna see how can I help out my friends.
Okay, give me oh, this is absolutely an acrobatics check. You are spelunking inside a statue. Wow.
Whoa.
At 20. Criticus
Criticus.
strikes again.
You go in there and like, because you don't know any better, your bones bend. Like it's like you wiggle through a hole that was just barely Ithaca sized with room to spare, but you get further in and it's more and more complicated. It's almost like a tube, like a warren, but you're a goblin, you don't care, and you just keep bending as necessary. And eventually you come out into an open area, you realize you're in the actual chest cavity of this body. It feels like you've been going way too long, like you should be 20 feet away, but you're still going. You can't back up. You get to this spot, and just as you get there, you kind of overcompensate and fall forward into the torso of this statue. So you are head down, little metal warforged, inside this big stone statue. And in reaching for something to hold on to, in front of you, you feel this big, which one am I using?
I'm just imagining the sounds that Idicus is making and how it echoes through the
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
statue.
Yeah.
The occasional shit.
Yep, and goblin.
In
Yes,
Goblin.
yeah. This is what I'm looking for. Find the area. There we go. Which one? Yeah. Idicus, you reach out and feel in front of you. It almost cuts your fingers. It's one of those. It's a sword. Like the big people sometimes swing. Like you got a dagger. This thing's almost as big as the hole inside of this statue, which is humongous because you like fell quite a ways to the bottom, and you kind of like it's diamond shaped. You can feel that, and the sharp edges are there, and the flat sides are sort of there. But you can't really get your hands anywhere else. So you keep kind of coming back to trying to figure out how you could climb it because you'd have to push yourself backwards up it and kind of use your feet and whatnot. And about the third time your hands come together around it, you look down and it's like you're inflating. And you've all of a sudden it starts to get really tight in here. Like the inside of this statue is all of a sudden pressing in on you, and this sword keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller in your hands, and you have to start thinking about holding on to it pretty soon, and you're just getting bigger and bigger. There's pressure all over the place. Bickford and Creature and Beowulf, the statue that none of you, I don't think, saw Idicus go into. You saw Bickford and Idicus go over to it. Starts to shake and twist and smash about on its on its plinth. You hear now swearing in Goblin. Like you don't have to speak Goblin to know that when somebody's swearing, right? And the pitch of it just keeps getting lower and lower and lower as they swear. And then the head pops off. Idicus, your feet come free above you. You can feel them flailing in open air. You just start, the shoulders explode from the outside, from the knees up, Idicus. Oh, you can feel now. You start pumping your legs back and forth. This is getting easy. You finally find the handle of the sword. It takes both of your now huge hands as the rest of the torso explodes. And the rest of you see an inverted fire giant holding a huge iron greatsword, poised, balanced on the top of their head for just a split second on the waist down part of a statue. Like from the waist down, the rest of the statue is there. The rest of it's shattered and gone. And they start, weirdly foreshadowed earlier, and I didn't know, start falling towards you in the middle of the room. But you're far enough away now. Yeah, Idicus, you're just, oh, shit. And you start to fall off. Give me an acrobatics check, Idicus. Let's do this. 17. You tell me, 3-point landing. What do you nailed it? Whatever it is you're going for, you nailed this landing. What is it?
Superhero landing.
Oh yeah. So that's the 3-point or the
Mhm.
yeah. So Iticus, as crouched down as you are in that landing, your point of view is still twice as high off the ground as it's ever been before. And when you stand up heroically at the end, is Iticus afraid of heights?
Possibly, yeah.
I ask because goblins don't usually do like large, like agoraphobia and heights, right? I can absolutely see that thing being things that goblins got issues with.
Yeah, actually, probably.
I just did the math. You are 6.5 goblins high,
Oh wow.
looking way down. Like you look down at your feet, and they're so far away they look small. Like perspective, that you understand perspective and horizons, but you're so big now. Perspective applies to you. Suddenly, kind of. Give me a wisdom check. Wisdom save.
Bickford's just saying
Can't-
"what the fuck" over
Oh.
and over again at Goblin.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
No
I
problem.
was,
Yeah,
What the
I was
fuck?
about to ask if I could. I was about to ask if I could try to give Iticus advantage on the roll, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered, and it doesn't matter for several reasons. Iticus, you kind of, it's kind of like riding on Bickford's shoulders. You've ridden on shoulders before. That's not so bad. When you think of it that way, you're okay. As you kind of get that moment of calmness and stand back up, the rest of you in the room see, I know it's a frost giant, but it's about half frost giant, half warforged. All the metal's red from the heat. Iticus is pumping off heat, but Iticus is 18 feet tall, a fire giant goblin warforged, standing in front of you, with a huge, great sword that they appear to be holding easily in one hand.
I'm too tired to be angry. Why? Just, you know what? I'm beginning to give up.
Beowulf, you're like,
Uh, he's
Sort
gonna
of-
look up and like, oh fuck.
yeah, fire giant cyborg, exactly, yes.
Pretty much.
She's gonna look like and curse. I forgot what his languages are again. Oh, in giant.
Okay.
Fuck. You know, just because that's what comes to mind because Iticus is pretty much a giant.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he can't curse in giant because he's a dog. He just barks. He barks the canine version of oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah, how do
Yeah,
you say
and
fucking
you
dog?
know what? You
Yeah.
you
It's
are
like-
you are in the high chapel of a god. They understand wolf, and you hear a chuckle, a very giant-sized godlike chuckle, as you curse in giant. And you feel a
Ow.
god settle more comfortably into their chair.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they're watching.
He's gonna stand up and stretch and debate if he wants to turn back to human and join Iticus as a giant or just stay in his wolf form and be quiet.
In that moment, Iticus, you know how this works now. If this weapon touches that portal, you can get out. How many times a day could a warforged be a hero? I mean, come on.
Right?
Two questions. One, do you go get your stick back first? And two, what do you do?
No, I don't get my stick.
Okay.
But I walk over and I put copying what I saw Beowulf do.
Yes.
I put the sword on the rune that I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
matches.
Oh,
Right,
'cause
'cause you
there's
can't
6. You know what?
Because I can't read.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah.
You reach. You know what? This is such a good scene. There technically, according to the story, there aren't any runes on this side, but I love that so much. There are now, and you walk up there, Idicus, and you reach for one room and one rune, and something in your head says, "No." You kind of back up. You look at them again, and one of them starts to just sort of flicker in red. You're like, "Oh, I am fire. That is red." And you start to tip the tip of the sword towards it. And as you touch it, the shimmer stops and drops. The rubble just a little bit down around your ankles. And the passageway is open. The sword disappears out of your hand, but you stay in giant Idicus form at this point. The way is free for you all to leave now. Through the shattered cathedral. Bickford, you've been quiet for a while.
I think it took Bickford a second to figure out what exactly was going on, because like in went a goblin, out came an upside down fire giant,
Yes.
but it's upside down, and that could only mean Idicus.
It's still not elves. But...
Still not elves. So we're still gonna try and find the elves.
Yep.
Bickford's he's glad that there's a way out.
Yep.
And he's gonna go over to Beowulf, make sure Beowulf's okay.
Yep.
Look to Creature and say, if we don't follow him, we're never gonna catch him.
No, let's just go.
Grunt.
So you muttering and grumbling, confused and overwhelmingly proud, and a wolf. That's the four of you head towards the exit. Meanwhile, Corfell, you look over the side of the ship. The elves hit the snow and just kind of like keep going, and the rope disappears behind them, burning into the snow and gone. You're by yourself on the side of a mountain with a flying boat that apparently listens to you. What do you do?
Can I get so I'm gonna try to tell it to go to where my friends are, essentially.
You say that? Go to where my friends are?
Yep, I'm gonna try it that way.
Nothing.
Okay. Forward.
Badly.
Starts to move forward at about 1 mile an hour.
Faster.
3 miles an hour.
Faster. A lot
Keep
faster.
going, yeah. And you start heading forward. You're doing sort of 12 to 15 miles an hour at this point, which seems probably about this thing's practical limit. You look up past the balloon and you're heading directly for a mountain. You are going to definitely have to go left to go down the valley.
Left.
About 2 degrees.
Sharp turn left.
And like you and the thing like banking on a roller coaster because the balloon
Oh, we're
stays
drifting.
there.
We're drifting.
Oh yeah, and you kind of have
Oh,
to
yeah.
grab on, and the force is holding you against the deck, but you get the urge to grab on because it feels like you're going to fall off, and you start you've over rotated now. By the time you get control again, you're coming around in a circle.
So I'm gonna wait until I'm about
Yep.
right around where I need to be and say straight.
But yeah, once it finishes doing this, it is heading straight down towards a very narrow ledge with the archway that you know beyond which is the cathedral. And 12 to 15 miles an hour doesn't seem that fast to us, but us isn't
So
heading
I
towards a
say
tiny little
stop
patch on the
and-
side of a mountain. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say full stop and brace myself.
And yeah, you start working out a vocabulary, but that's exactly what this ship needs to run is slightly left, lots left, 100% left. You have to be very precise, and it doesn't follow anything other than that. So you start figuring that out and doing the sort of learning to land a helicopter routine. And as you come down outside the gates, you hear a bit of a ruckus inside. And the four of the rest of you... Well, no, I'm going to finish that with Corfell first. The first one out, I'm assuming... Well, the first one you notice, four of them come out, and you're kind of like, oh, a big dog and two people, and fuck. There's an 18-foot, half metallic, half fire giant striding boldly forth and trying not to crush everything underfoot. Looks a little bit like Idicus would if they were a if they were a fire giant.
So, in my panic of the whole scenario, I'm a like prep like I'm gonna throw a spell.
Yeah.
And like be like, the fuck, just real loud.
The other four of you come out into the blowing, icy, windy cold again, past the barbarians that you fought on the way in, down that stupidly long hallway with the raised areas on the side. It's colder and colder and colder as far as you go, through those broken outer doors and into the snow. And
Creature has put coats on everyone.
Mama Creature strikes again. Yes.
As we're passing those barbarians, Bickford stops, remembers which one was the chieftain, and takes his greatsword. Not for any practical reason. Doesn't matter if it's broken, but he's got beef with these guys. His people have beef with the Uthgardt barbarians.
It is an Uthgardt sword, absolutely. And yes, being a typical crap Uthgardt sword, it is broken.
Yeah.
So
well, he got smoked by
pommel in a couple inches. Yeah. So yeah.
If it ended up looking like this, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Harshnag smashed the shit out of it while he was killing him. But anyway, yes. So yeah, you have the stump of that sword. Yeah,
put the chunks in order to put it into the scabbard and sort of take that. He's going to give that back to Steve if he ever runs into the dark slate. Hey, guess what I found? Look at this fucker.
So with that, the four of you step out into this all-white world. It's just varying shades of white and pale gray. Creature?
Sorry.
Looked like you wanted to say something.
I'm just saying that I've also found one of those dog coats and put it around Beowulf. If Beowulf didn't fight Scratch and
they kind of got
too much.
They kind of got a fur coat.
He's gonna fight because he has a very thick fur.
Yeah.
And Creature's going, I know, but I worry. You can never be too warm. I mean, if you don't love me, then that's fine.
Beowulf, you just keep walking? Or what do you do?
He's eventually going to give in and let Creature have his fun for now, but then he'll have words with Creature later about it.
Absolutely.
It's not even his fun. It's just making sure everyone's body.
He's trying to take care of somebody. He's desperately taking care of somebody.
Like he's looking at Idicus and going, I don't need to deal with that. That's
that doesn't
I'll light anything on fire.
Yeah.
Basically, Beowulf sees it as Creature trying just to have, be overprotective and have his way. So Beowulf is just going to let him do it for now, but then have words later.
Yeah.
Because now he's going to get real hot.
That's perfect because
Creature
chat. It's like putting a pumpkin onesie on a vocal chihuahua. So you're standing there taking it, but it's like, I don't like it.
It's not too thick, but it is bright orange and has a jack-o'-lantern face on it.
Oh, okay. Either way, the four of
that's
you
what Creature had.
Yep. You step out into this all-white world and see that one part of it isn't white. A huge flying sled / ship / air balloon with a propeller on the back slowly creeping towards you. On it, no one except way at the back. Yep.
Can I put some flavor?
Oh, of course, please do.
It's more like a
this little yeah. Perfect, because what you hear accompanying this tiny jerky movement of this huge thing is clearly Corfell's voice, tense and stressed and swearing quite a bit, giving very precise instructions, and just no, stop, no, okay, back the other way, oh, left, and finally getting it correct. And this thing settles into the snow onto the runners, because it's got runners. You hear and feel the weight taken up by that. Corfell, you done it. You landed it. You take a couple steps and look over the side down at the 4 of them below you. What do you say?
So since I'm currently standing there prepared to
Yeah,
sling
blast
spells,
the frost giant thing, yeah.
yeah,
Fire giant.
Fire giant, yes.
the
Thank you.
hell.
Yes.
Iticus, Bigford, Beowulf, creature. Very tired. A lot of shit. And you came back with one hell of a late fee. So, let's just go in. I mean, can we come aboard? Because I'm assuming you're Corfell. You sound like him. You don't look as much like him, but you sound
Actually,
like
no,
him.
he is absolutely looks like Corfell again. He is not.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, let's give the player the choice. Are you back to gray-skinned modern Corfell, or are you old school?
I think it'll stay.
Okay. You look down to check,
Oh,
and you see on the back of your hand 3 little white dots on your absolutely matte black skin. You realize if there's another one there, and you kind of pull up your sleeve, and you recognize one of the constellations from an ancient homeworld. It's like a racial historical memory that comes to you, and you have this image of your great the night before betraying the creature that would become a god, just laying in a field looking up at that very star pattern. And as you continue to pull up the sleeve, you see more and more of it. You realize your body is covered. You're a star map of your own homeworld.
Bickford's muttering under his breath, I knew it was elves.
It wasn't.
and there's a perfect half circle of slightly glowing light on their forehead as well. You haven't seen it long enough to know that that's going to change, but yeah, at the moment we determined it was a half moon, so just one cheat code. No, half a moon.
So Corfell is going to take advantage of the situation that's been presented to him
Yes.
to save the day.
Yes.
And he's gonna lean on his staff all cocky and just grin at him and be like, yeah.
And on his shoulders, as he's leaning over and looking down at you, because you guys are still, they're on the ship and you're on the ground. It's not like 100 feet because they're landed, but they're still above you. And as they lean over to look down, you can sort of see these ephemeral epaulets on Corfell's shoulders with 4 shiny electrum-colored bars. He is clearly a captain.
Aye, sir. And tired, beaten down, and just altogether miffed of what happened today, and still dealing with all the thousands of years of memory, or thousand-year-old memories.
Yes.
Still working through those, going through, remembering the actual name of the Allfather as well. When the initial creature, when Zulthis was bonded to him.
Yes.
Just going,
yeah, and there is inside your head. There's this. It's almost like it's forced Zulthis. Seeing the old form of the Moon Elf has forced Zulthis to remember. Give me an insight check on your parasite with advantage because it's now bonded to you.
Insight.
Yes.
Why?
13.
2 13s.
That's okay. If you put them together, it's a 26. They always ask, do you fudge rolls? I said, no, but I fudge DCs all the time. It's easier because I can let you roll and then fudge the DC. It takes a while, but as you're sort of dragging your ass towards the ship, and to get on this ship, it's they don't have ladders. They just have like slats of wood nailed to the side, and you use it like a ladder to climb up.
Yeah, Creature's not doing it that way, but
But yes, I know
'Cause
you're
you know
just-
him,
You're
he's
just walking
extra.
up, but as you sort of do that process, there's a memory that isn't yours. It belongs to your tenant, your coexister, whatever it is now.
we are no longer Creature. We are no longer the creature that was we. We are now I, and I am tired and going through everything, and we'll talk to the DM later about my backstory because I need to, all that stuff.
Yes,
What was
But-
that fourth wall thought?
but
What?
what you realize is that which was the other was given to the Allfather against their will. They were not part of the conspiracy. Them infecting the Allfather was just what they do. They are not at fault in any way.
Was Creature stolen from where he initially was? And would he know this?
That doesn't come back yet. This is like a memory that isn't yours. What's his name again? Sorry, the
Zulthus.
Zulthus. This is a Zulthus memory. Zulthus was used.
As Creature is coming up the bend, and if
Yeah.
no, everyone's busy climbing up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're gonna go around the room. This is kind of the rap scene. So
but as
Yeah.
he's going up the bend, his skin is becoming more jagged.
yeah,
What was once smooth and was once very smooth and very kind of almost elegant
yeah.
is turning more animalistic in almost a way. Now Creature is beginning to develop fangs on where his faceplate was,
Yeah. hmm
kind of a small spikes of ridges
The damn
going down
pier-
his head.
The damn pier starts to change form. I
Uh,
love it.
Yeah.
By the
just
time you
look-
step up on the ship, you are this just angular, jagged thing that's ripping through your own clothes.
looking nothing like what he used to look like.
Yeah.
Still recognizable as Creature, because what else the hell would he be?
Yeah, everybody else has changed 12 times. There's no reason why you shouldn't too. But would you
Right.
suggest that it is a slightly more vampiric look, like specifically the big giant bitey fangs in a world where the vampires exist?
Yeah,
Would
it's
that
like
be
it's,
sort of the
it's not quite vampiric, but it is. It's almost
proto-vampiric?
proto-vampiric. Like
Yeah.
it's
perfect.
older than vampire. It's
Yeah,
just
so you're regressing. That's what I was trying to get to. Yes, you're regressing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
even what the Allfather statue looked like
Yes.
is now nothing like what
Yep.
the
That ended.
creature that Zulthus is.
Yep.
And what it's supposed to look like is slowly becoming more apparent. It's developing.
Okay.
It's metamorphosizing.
Ooh, creatures on the change.
Hmm.
Speaking of change, the bugbear that's trying not to change at all, just trying to party his way through all of this, and it's getting tougher and tougher. Bickford, you climb, you get over. This boat is sitting in front of you, flying boat. What the hell next? Your body's got that aching sore, like, oh, I don't know, like you did ecstasy last night and it didn't sleep.
Oh, wait.
The lactic acid is just like you can feel the muscles creak when you try and reach for your ale. You know, everything hurts.
Yeah, definitely that. I haven't done this adventuring thing in a while.
Yeah.
I've actually in my mind I've aged him up a little, so he's a little bit more middle aged for a bugbear. And so I'm a little too old for this.
Yeah.
And he sees Corfell, and he's like, "You're gonna need this."
That's right. He had the hat. It's a pirate hat. He had it
Pirate
last week.
hat.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
like,
Last week
It-
was National Be a or International Be a Pirate Day.
Yeah, talk about the
And
pirate
so
day,
Bickford had a pirate hat for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and then he ended up on ecstasy, And so yeah, now you
Made
have he's
more
given
sense.
you his pirate hat.
Yeah.
There you go.
But when creature comes across or over the
Yeah.
the board,
Oh, creature got up there first, so you climb
Yeah.
over and see the new
Yeah, see, yeah.
new creature.
it honestly it throws him off a little.
Yeah.
If it hasn't been pretty clear, Bigfoot is not a fan of vampires. He's worked for every other greater undead, but he will not work for fangs or bloodsuckers.
Yeah. He's already had a bad experience with one here.
You know, fucking
Also, just as an add-on, he does not look anything like the creature in your dreams anymore.
yeah, that's also concerning because that was one of the reasons Bigfoot sort of even stuck around, is he thought he was the White Mask. Now that they
Yeah.
don't even look the same, Bigfoot keeps his distance. He doesn't make it
It's a big
super
bug.
obvious. He doesn't make it super obvious that he's avoiding creature, but he's also not talking to him, not really, just keeping his distance. The 2 meters.
Yeah. All right. So you are doing that, kind of walking around this boat. It's weird because where there should be people, there's no people. There's just these weird contraptions wrapped around the ropes.
Mhm. It's been a while since Bickford's even seen a ship.
Yep.
Fucking, let alone
But there's something
flies.
weird with this one. You look up where Corfell is standing, and there's no wheel.
You can notice the dragon symbol is like
There's dragons everywhere. Yeah, I mean it
haven't
is
worked for a dragon in
ubiquitous.
years.
Yeah. So you're kind of stunned and shaken and questioning reality and questioning what the hell you're doing.
Lots going on in there because he's like, okay, so we have a patron now. Sweet,
Yeah.
I've got a gig.
Yeah.
And another bit's like, what the fuck happened to this guy I thought was my friend?
Yeah.
And well, it looks like Iticus will be okay.
Excellent. Beowulf. You can jump in wolf form. You can jump. You can find a rock and sort of jump onto the ship, so you don't have to change to get up there if you don't wish.
Yeah, I know. He'll jump up there.
Okay, so boom, boom, and you're on the ship. You see the new version of creature.
Corfell.
You see
pipes up,
Corfell.
No fur on the furniture.
Beowulf, you can't speak, but what's going on inside your fur-covered and plastic-coated self?
First of all, I'm guessing that he'll get up there first even before creature because creature's gonna take a little bit more time.
Sure.
So he sees Corfell, doesn't recognize him by sight, but does recognize him by smell.
Absolutely. Yep.
So then he just, before he was about ready to growl at him,
Yeah.
but then he stops and is like, okay, wait, friend. So he kind of relaxes a little bit as he looks around. Then creature comes up and he really just doesn't pay attention, just kind of growls at him,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing it's creature for a little bit until, Big pokes his head up over and then realizes, wait.
Yeah.
I know that.
Weird.
dog
He
growl. I
stops
know
the
exactly
growling.
what growl that is.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
he
why I'm
stops
mad at
growling, but he stays away from creature only because he doesn't know what's going on. And
He smells like creature,
Smells-
but he also smells like something else.
yeah, he doesn't smell quite the same as he did when they were down on the ground.
The same
So he's
musky
not sure what's
undertones,
going
but a
on.
new hint of citrus.
So he's actually probably gonna stay on the opposite side of the ship that creature's on.
Yep.
A creature's going to
And
bed.
So
Just kinda
there's
find a place to
Beowulf
lay down.
way up at the front of the boat. There's Beowulf and Bickford sort of milling around, sort of not looking back. Creature is sort of standing amidships, changing slightly as the last few bones settle into place. Up on the bridge, Corfell. You look down, you can see the epaulettes. You are the captain. Is there any sense of heavy is the head that wears the crown?
Nah, he's a smooth criminal. What do you mean?
I am trying to crack this fucker. Oh man, Corfell's a hard nut. All right. So
He
yeah.
is a very cocky little shit.
Yep.
Now he has
So
a ship.
so yeah, you've got the ship. Your staff is sort of leaning against the rail next to you. You've pretty much got this ship figured out as far as getting to control it. Open spaces are easy. It's just this parking shit that's difficult.
Yeah.
So you've got this. What's going through? You kind of look down and see the back of your hand. You flash back to that scene you saw, the little tiny moon that turned to dust. Outside, cool as a cucumber. Inside,
Inside, fucking furious that he's being dragged into so much shit.
that's so many.
'Cause
I mean, elven generations
he's
old. Yeah.
everything that he's done up until this point. He's 200 years old. You know, has been pretty smooth sailing. Like he knows what
Yeah.
he's doing. Any job he's done has been planned meticulously,
Yes.
with lots of research.
Oh,
Yes.
he's a planner. I feel
And
so sorry for you, buddy.
10,000
No,
years
It's
ago.
been a rough day.
Even in elf terms, man. 10,000 years ago, one of your
He's
ancestors
kinda
did
pushed
a
it
thing.
back. Honestly, he's frustrated, but he's kind of pushed it off to the side for now because there's bigger shit to fry.
You, just out of character, have absolutely no idea that the rest of them have a mission now.
Mhm.
You just see sort of something that might be a map in white on the back of the wolf that is clearly Beowulf. So with that, Iticus, way up in the air. You can step onto this boat, but you're going to have to sit down once you're on it, or you're going to interfere with the balloon.
I actually think this is the first time that Iticus is scared. Like, besides being with the spider, because he knows what fire can do. He's seen it firsthand,
Yes.
being
Mhm.
chased out of places. Um, so he goes to touch it, realizes it's wood, pulls his hand away, and he kind of doesn't know what to do.
Oh my
Because
God,
he doesn't want to hurt the ship. He doesn't want to hurt his friends.
Iticus, give me an insight check on yourself.
I was
Well,
also
obviously
gonna
with
say
advantage. Yeah, go ahead.
Corfell being a nerd. I
Oh.
guess having everyone else on the ship, he's gonna look for Iticus, and Creature had already pointed out that Iticus is this giant, so he's gonna try and help. Like
So you,
it,
yeah. You step over to the rail. You look at Iticus. You're looking him in the eyes. Like you're on the boat standing tall and you're looking Iticus's head in an eye. Like it's the eyes are this far apart. And you see this fear and this worry. What do you say?
So I tell him to calm down, take a breath, kind of thing. You know, it'll be okay. And then, like, we'll figure it out whether I gotta be, you know, Magic Man over here or whatever. Since Corfell wasn't with them when Beowulf grabbed the axe or hammer, axe,
Yep.
weapon,
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever it was. Yeah.
And
I'm not sure myself
basically
anymore.
polymorphed.
Yeah.
He's not gonna know that, you know, he's not gonna make that connection.
Yep.
To the
Well,
possibility that the sword-
technically, Beowulf used a potion to polymorph, and
Oh,
then
okay.
found the weapon. Yeah, that was.
I'm half
yeah.
out of it.
That's okay. No, that makes sense. You weren't there. So yes.
So he's just gonna try and help where he can.
Yeah.
You know, at least
You
on
keep talking. Yeah.
talking the fear down, so that he
Iticus,
can
this incredibly
the
brave,
solution.
new-colored elf, stands on the boat and looks you right in the face and gives you this speech. When they say breathe in, sorry? No. When they say breathe in, you feel the heat draw back from your hands and from your feet from your head and back into the body. You realize you can control it. Reach out and put your hand in the snow, and it melts the snow a little bit because, I mean, you're alive, you've got a pulse, but it's not like you thought. It's you're going to be able to not start fires. Something in little tiny Idicus can control all this power.
At that realization, I'm gonna try and like focus it like in the middle, almost like where my heart would be.
Yes.
And
the metal parts around your torso start to glow in a dull red. Not dangerous.
Also going to make sure to give Corfel because everyone's calling him Corfel, so it has to be Corfel.
Yeah.
Giving him the shiny new stick.
Bickford still has.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bickford has it, but
Bickford
it's
has
on
it.
his back, so you just reach over and take it out of Bickford's back and hand it to Corfel, and yeah, it's like a toothpick in your hand. Corfel, I described it earlier, golden stick with a huge emerald on the top. It's not really sorcery wizardy kind of thing. It's definitely not cleric-y. It appears to be a sort of a druidy sort of, that asshole in the tree thing, fake cathedral bullshit would probably love this. You don't know what it does, but it's definitely something to do with life and energy and that sort of thing.
So I'm obviously gonna thank the fire giant in front of me.
Yeah.
That could, flick me off my own ship. And place it in my bag because, let's be real, I already got a stick.
It's okay. Idicus, they accept the stick. You've calmed now. You can control this. You have no idea how long you're going to be a giant for. But maybe if you sit down on this ship, you won't be quite so high up. It doesn't occur to you that the ship flies.
Oh, yeah. No, it wouldn't.
No,
it
it was just landing as you came out, so yeah.
So he'll get up and sit down kind of like nervously.
Right underneath, you have to sit right underneath the balloon or the ship tilts in weird directions. Like when you climb on, it all tilts to one side. You have to get
in the middle, please.
Yeah, and you shuffle your giant self into the center right underneath the balloon.
He's going to, the final thing is I'm going to look at Creature and say, I help. No hurt.
You do good, Idicus. I'm just tired. I'm so very tired.
Idicus?
Question about the ship.
Okay, yep.
Is it like a yacht ship or like just like a rowboat ship?
I'll show you the map next week, but basically think of like a ship of the line with all the sails, but smaller. It would be a sloop, I guess. It's about 30 to 40, 50 feet long, but so instead of sails, it's got one big balloon.
Going down.
Oh yeah, there is storage underneath. There is also cabins.
No, I'm not gonna crash it.
Yeah.
Sorry, yelling at chat.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't crash into the mountain, thank you.
No, you did not.
So I'm just gonna motion to Creature, down below that, he can go rest in peace and figure out where we're going.
Creature walking past Corfel puts a hand on his shoulder, which becomes sharper when he does so, unintentionally.
Yeah.
And he pulls back his hand, just kind of.
You were stolen too. We were stolen.
Walks over past to Bigicus.
Yes.
Puts a hand on the knee and just says,
You're doing good, kid. Good job.
And just kind of starts walking away without taking the hand off the knee quite yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of that lingering, just almost like it falls away rather than pulling it away.
Yeah.
Goes down into the deepest recesses of the ship, finds a quiet, dark corner, and pretty much meditates.
Just drops into recovery mode. So as four of you come to
Oh.
terms... Oh,
I forgot one thing. I'm going to look at Corfell and go, does this thing have a name? From my time, it's bad luck to sail a ship that doesn't have a name yet. You should think of one. And then he goes down
and
the
then
darkest
goes down the
recesses of ship.
stairs. So as four of you recover, gather your thoughts, wander around the ship, or sit very still in the middle of it so as not to cause it to wobble about. Corfell, with one or two commands, just causes it to lift. And as you rise up out of the blowing blizzard above the low-lying clouds, you get to that altitude where the clouds are like a white blanket below you, separating you from all the bullshit and the garbage and the problems that are down there that everybody has to live in every day, like a layer of filth over their lives. From up here, you can't see it. Up here, it is absolutely peaceful and beautiful. A mountain pokes out here and there just to give you some sort of sense of depth. And up here, it's cold, but the wind is not blowing. And that slow beat of the propeller on the back of the ship, almost like a pulse. As you head out of this episode and into the next one. And that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight. Oh, that was so much fun. It was also, we got some serious stuff in there and resolved and started and all kinds of good stuff. So amazing session. Thank you to all of you for that. One by one though, Scarred. I love this. If I read that right, when you get tired, the original you gets tired, as much as you are a cohabitating now, you get taken over. Is how I'm reading. Like this inner force is coming out, but so is your core, this Dhampir as well. So I'm looking forward very much to see how that character develops. We got all kinds of time. Thank you so much for bringing that. We are very, very slowly knocking the party out of this bugbear. We really are just ever so slowly making him take shit seriously. And I love it. Thank you so much, Bison, for bringing this party boy. I mean, let's be fair, he's every one of us, right? As a late teenager, early 20s something. The world's going, grow up, and you're going, nope, not done drinking yet. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was born as an old 60-year-old.
Yeah. Well, some of us used to party uncontrollably. But yeah, I love this vibe. I also love that he's becoming serious. We're breaking Bigford, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out the other side.
Mhm.
Thank you very much for bringing
Tried
that
very
character.
hard to hide the murk.
Yeah.
And, honestly, a bugbear in his 40s is a bugbear ready to fucking retire.
He's done. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should be an elder by now.
Yeah, well, they only live to be 80, and that's if they survive that long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should be dandling grandkids on your knees, telling lies about what you did 20 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't even claimed a bastard yet.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's interesting to watch Bigford mature.
yeah, as much as that's gonna happen. Yeah, at 40. Yeah, I have no bonding experience with that at all. That doesn't feel like an attack on me personally in any way, shape, or form. I was 52 before I didn't know, and even then, fuck it. Next, Wolfsbane, thank you. The unflappable. Oh, you are a challenge, and oh, I love it. I am going to make that fucker care. I am going to make Corfell care about something. I gave you new skin. I gave you 10,000 years of history. Nothing, but we'll get you. Thank you so much for bringing this just jaded bastard to this game. I love him. Thank you.
He's just like, What the fuck? Every
Captain
Yeah,
time.
Bastard
everything is just
too.
that should be
He's
your
stuffed in
logo. Just
boxes and jewelry
WTF. That
boxes.
should
He's
just be
been
what's on your
buried.
tabard.
He's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
Captain Bastard to
that's
you.
Captain Bastard
Right,
now,
right.
yes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well,
I'm
thank
afraid you need to
Captain.
use the full title, Captain Jaded Bastard of the 2nd Platoon.
Arr.
That can't. First.
Yeah, first battalion
Platoon.
commander.
The
Yeah.
1st Platoon was like 10,000 years ago.
You only
man.
got 4 stripes. Let's not get ahead of yourself. You know, give me at least another level or 2 before I start giving you stars.
And what's funny is the more you throw at Corfell, the more
Yeah.
confident he gets.
Oh yeah, I kicked this ass. I kicked everything's ass. Everything up till now, I kicked its ass. So
I
yes,
got captured
beautiful.
by this asshole and this asshole and this
Yep.
asshole, and I'm still here.
And it's just and I just had the Elton John moment. It's, I'm still standing.
I will survive.
Yeah,
I'm still standing better than I ever did.
that's the one. Yes,
I can't remember
but-
the actual words properly.
something about a true
Like
survivor.
Like a true
and-
survivor.
If
We're
you sing any more, we'll have to pay. So stop.
Yeah, it's Elton John. They don't like it when we do
Yes.
that. So yeah.
Beowulf. Oh, Solar, thank you. This, I spent all last week just beating the shit out of Beowulf as a character, and you spent all this week going, don't matter, doesn't matter, I'm still me, I still got this is still in control. Thank you for the I keep seeing them. I know you're in wolf form, but I keep seeing Beowulf in human form just pulling a sledge across the Arctic, just like nothing can stop me. Thank you for this unbelievably deep, strong character. I'm having a great time watching Beowulf. Thank you. And Bigicus. Oh. I didn't know if we were going to beat last week. The Rogue to End All Rogues was an amazing episode. But then to go to that, and now you're a giant, but still at heart, you are still Idicus. Until right at the end of today, when you got scared. And there's this developmental moment of this character where it's like all of a sudden the world is like impinges. And this is for real, and there's real results, and people could die. And I could have died messing with those spiders, and it's just this mortality just pouring in on little Idicus, and I'm waiting to see what happens. I also have no idea how long you're going to stay a giant for. So we'll have to figure that out. But thank you so much for bringing that character and all of these amazing characters to this game. Because without you, I'm just sitting here talking to myself. So thank you very, very much. Thank you to chat.
You do that
Everybody
on a
that was
regular
in there.
Monday.
I do that all the time. It's just I don't stream it except a couple nights a week. But thank you to everybody in chat. I had a great time tonight. Enjoyed all of it. Yes, I see names in there that we don't always see too. I see lots of new names. Well, not new names, but names we haven't seen in a while. So thank you to everybody that was there.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody that stayed all the way to the end. And thank you to all the YouTube people who watched all the way to here. If you did, please hit that like button, because I'm assuming you did if you watched this far, and hit the subscribe button, because I don't post on anything remotely like a regular basis on YouTube. So if you don't hit that button, you will never know when I put this stuff in that place. So with all of those, the only thing left to say at 8:01, we started a couple minutes late. We can go a minute late at the end. Until next time, as always, please be nice to each other. Good night.